So this is what I have for us. I tried to make it as simple as possible. It won't be a Google Doc today. Maybe there will be a Google Doc at a later point, but for right now, we're going to keep it as elementary and stick figure as possible. So again, what I wanted to cover is the secret sauce that we've been utilizing with some of the one-to-one and agency clients as far as like getting the initial hypothesis of the one-to-many workshop and or promotion to validate the offer. This can be done free, organically, and or with paid. So I'll walk you through that and then how we iterate it and really start to move into increasing the show up, increasing the booking rates, and increasing the close rates, right? So, at a very basic level, this is built around really not even a workshop. It can be built off just a basic, I'm going to raise my offer or I'm going to take on 5 people like we went over in the 4 weeks of profit cohort. This would still apply for all of that. So stage one is just this 7 day cycle leading to whatever that promo is, whether it's an event or the launch of the offer. And then the upsell path is you actually selling those 5 seats or whatever amount of spots that you're opening. So, for instance, we just did the 5 minute webinar masterclass a couple weeks ago. We're about to go into a new promo starting Saturday for our storytelling workshop. And that will be this 7 day cycle. We want to condense this into 7 days because what we've noticed is the further out we get, 10, 14 days, for one, it becomes harder for us to create content because we can only tell so many stories and position the offer so many different ways. And for two, the people that buy in or opt in at day 10 or 8 or 14, they start to begin to forget about what they even signed up for, right? So the whole point of this is to shrink this down. And we've even done 3 day, one like 3 day campaigns. So that is why we do seven. And I have tested this so many different times with paid and also organic, and 7 days seems to be the sweet spot, right? We do have examples in the content full. We won't be going over those today. Potentially this coming week, we can work on that together because I feel like a lot of folks are in about to like launch, like Annette, you just shared, and Doug, you shared earlier, like you're about to launch your campaign. So I want to give the ultimate clarity behind that. So then behind the actual 7 day promotion, we actually do the live event and or we close doors at midnight generally. Ideally, we like to kick these off on Monday, right? If we're doing a master class like what we did last time with the 5 minute webinar, we've been having the most success with Saturday and or Sunday. So if it's Saturday or Sunday, then we kick off on Saturday. And if you're thinking like, oh, people won't like adapt and buy in on a Saturday or Sunday, I actually, last time I did this with one of our clients, we actually launched the morning after Halloween and people were opting in. So, like, that false belief, or that is a false belief and limiting belief, because there's always people out in the world that want to buy things and get involved with things, right? There's so many people on Facebook. So, I do run into that a lot with clients. Should we do this? Oh, it's the day right after Halloween, but if you have a good message and you have a good offer, people will buy it no matter when you sell it. Right? Maybe not go into a promotion like Christmas Eve, like that probably wouldn't be smart, but I think you understand what I'm saying here, right? So we're going to do that initial 7 day campaign, pushing to the live event. And then on the live event, we're going to open doors for generally, this is for our flagship offer. We've done lower ticket stuff, but we've done sell the call, we've done sell the doc through document. We're personally doing sell by document here at Scaling Lean right now, just because it feels the most aligned and easiest. To be completely honest, it's giving us the best people. Where if we get on phone calls, people don't show up sometimes, and that's just where we're headed. So we're potentially like missing out on sale potential just by doing that because it's increasing like it's harder to say yes to a Google Doc than it is to if you hop on a phone call from what we've seen. But that's just how we're running our business. It is possible. I would recommend going to call though, if you're in the early stages, especially stage one, where you're just creating this workshop idea or this promo idea, and you're just trying to prove it, right? Because again, everything is based around feedback. Making sense so far? Perfect. So before we push into stage two, I just wanted to go over a couple mindsets around paid advertising, right? And just because we're in stage one doesn't mean we just do one launch. Like we can remain in stage one for two, three, five launches until we feel confident that our message is hitting and we're getting the right buyers out the other side, right? So if we do have lower traffic, if we start to crunch these numbers here, if we get 30 people to sign up and only 30 or only 20% of those people like actually show up, that's only going to be six people, right? If we take 15% close rate, that would be one person out of six, right? So we have to take that into account. So in that case, we'll probably do three, four, five launches in stage one to validate that until we get that initial momentum, right? When we do decide to go to paid, what we recommend doing is allocating $1,000 budget. And I know that might sound really scary because that's $150 a day over the course of 7 days. But again, what we've seen is when we extend the budget out further, we see a lower close rate. So higher budget, yes, scary, but it's going to be all unrealized opportunities. Let's just say we're getting 10 to $20 leads. That's going to be 50 to 100 signups, right? And again, going back to the example of 20% show up, that's going to be 10 to 20 people showing up, right? So that is the KPI that we want to set. And the reason why we set such a quote unquote big budget, in all reality, it's really not a big budget because, again, it's the amount of time that it's going to take someone to convert into a buyer, right? It's all unrealized opportunity. If we spend $1,000 and we get 10% of people to show up, that likely means that we're not reminding people enough before the event. We've we've completely not hit at all the message with the audience, or we haven't tested enough variation like inside of the system. Is that all making sense so far? Is that scary for some people? It is? Okay, I get it. If we think about it though, like
Terrifying.
yeah, I can get it. I can get behind that. But the other reason I like to do it this way is because we can do eight different audiences, and inside of those audiences, we can potentially test like 3 to 12 creatives. So think of the amount of variation that we have inside of that spend level, and it's going to happen in a very short window. Where if we take $35 a day and spend that over the course of 30 days, you're still spending $1,000, but you're not going to be able to test as many variations in that window because you only have $35 to allocate. So I prefer more variation because with more variation, we get the two golden swans that actually made the thing. Or maybe we wind up spending only $200 on the one that Facebook optimized for, but from that $100 we spent, we actually got the closed deal from one of those, right? So then we go into our next launch, we're going to put all of our money on that one swan that was like really crushing it, and then potentially duplicate that swan into another audience that was a close second and third. So that's really the big reasoning behind this as well is variation testing. That makes sense, right? Pretty good. Awesome. So what I do recommend when you're in this stage one of this ad test, you're going to want to blend like stage two into stage one if possible. And this is your 3 day campaign for the people that opt in or buy, because that's obviously going to raise the probability of the people showing up to your event, right? So ideally, in a perfect world, we have this 7 day campaign that we've launched like two or three times. That's repeated the result of getting people there and it's proven offer and like people are showing up. Maybe we've got a couple closed deals. Then we put the ad spend behind it. And then we also make this email sequence to get them in and then also send them the replay, right? Now we can do this right out of the gate. It's not saying we can't, but that would be like the ideal scenario, right? And a lot of our folks that we work with, like when we come into their business, they have a little bit of momentum or some type of momentum organically. So then we can look in, see what's working, and then build that hypothesis pretty accurate, and then build that initial stage one and two, and then crush it, right? And I'll definitely be bringing in some of the scripting and templates if I haven't already inside the Vault to help you all with this so we can make it as much as possible. The reason I broke it up in three stages is what I don't want y'all to do is spend, like we know in the 4 weeks to profit, like all time building all of these assets and then it completely flops, right? Like I'd rather you just build out this version one right here, which is still a lot, but it's going to be like in all reality, it's like one opt-in form, like one tag and one email sequence and one post, right? When you do this, it's like you're basically running three different campaigns inside of one campaign, right? So there takes like more time, more thought, more segmenting, more scheduling, and it does turn out to be a lot more work. Might not look like it, but it actually is. Right. So then as we push into paid, right? So let's just say now that we ran our free and then we've gotten close to these KPIs, if not exceeded them, then we're going to want to push into what I like to do is push into a paid masterclass, right? And this is like 5, 27, 17, like something like that. You can also begin to offer like a VIP on the back end with an extra 60-minute training or some type of mini course or workbook, or like Annette, you could potentially do like a free nutrition plan, like on the back end, stay for 30 minutes and I'll map out your like, I'll show you how to map out in ChatGTP like a basic 7-day plan, just to like intense them, increase the probability of them buying, just like we did in the 4 weeks to profit. We did a VIP on the back end, right? With the whole point of going to paid and what we've seen is we're able to recover ad spend on the front as little as 2x, like meaning like we're spending 1,000 and getting $200 back, as much as 100% liquidation, meaning we spend 1,000, we get 1,000 back on the front, and then we get 2, 3, 4, 5 upsells on the back end as well. What I've seen is I'd rather not go for one-to-one on the front because sometimes what it can do is lead people to like thinking they have the whole solution. Like I'd rather get them in and like into the master class is the main priority and then sell them with some type of liquidation. That makes sense. And then the other reason I like going to the paid version, and everyone has different opinions with this, but I like going to the paid version because it doesn't have a lot of waste. When you start to spend more money with this free masterclass, you're going to be getting a lot of leads that are not quality, right? So then that means your email reputation is going to drop because a lot of people are going to be unsubscribing, not opening, like all of this type of stuff. You're going to have more leads to follow up with personally because like you're just going to have 3 times the amount of leads. Where when you go to paid, you can get the same, you can spend, I recommend one time the cost of your high ticket offer, right? So if your high ticket offer is 3 grand, spend 3,000 over 7 days. That'll get you 150 more or more signups. When if you did that paid, you'd have like 400 signups or more probably. And then your show rate and booking rate and close rate will go up because, and you'll have to deal with less people and they're more serious people. So that's what I've learned. And like, it's been way better doing it that way. We often do like cycle in a free one here and there, but we optimize for the paid one. So I know I just like really ran through that pretty quickly. Is there any thoughts and questions? Because I do have one little nuance to put on the end for stage 3. Any thoughts, questions? I think you're muted, Doug.
Takes me a while to get the cursor down there. So I'm confused. So are you suggesting not to do the free and just go to the paid, or start with a free and then go to a paid?
Generally, I would definitely recommend doing free first because you want to get like flow
Yeah, because
because
that's what I was thinking I was going to go.
yeah, I would definitely do free for anyone for a first time one because we want like throughput, meaning we want people to say yes, no, give us feedback,
Right.
like all those type of things. And what I didn't put in this is like we have replay surveys, pre-surveys before that we can run as part of this process, especially early on, to really dial in exactly what our folks want and need and what they didn't like and liked. So yeah, I would definitely recommend free, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then once you get to the point where you're like, man, I've got a couple deals closed, I've got a lot of people that are saying no, it's time to up the quality type of vibe, then I'd be like, yeah, let's switch it over, even if it was just $5, 27, like whatever that number is, just get the people moving through the process. And then the stage 3 here too is oftentimes what we do when we have this paid version is we'll sell the replay to the people that didn't buy. right? And then that leads to a call directly and or the offer doc directly as well. So that's really like the stage three, if you will, is really strapping that on as well. Now you could send the replay out for the free one too, but I feel like you get that extra buy-in. You get the extra buy-in for the people because what we're seeing is like there's folks that are doing DM ads with comment XYZ masterclass, and then those people are still commenting because the posts
Mm,
are still rolling. And
sure.
then if we don't put the replay, it's like, where are they going? They're not going anywhere. So we can open that up and then we can start to sell that, which gets them to watch the masterclass that converted the people. And then it just keeps converting the people. And again, that does take more work. And that's why we don't recommend doing it right away because you have to build a new page, you have to build a new checkout, you have to build a new follow-up funnel. Yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game. And then once you get all this fixed, once this is dialed in, it's just like you're in heaven because then you can like really do whatever you want. You can just turn it on, turn it off every 30 days. Just crank it up to do your like this, like we just did one with Christopher, our art client. He did 30, we did 4 grand in 7 days, which was like 500 a day. And we allocated 300 spend for the best combination, and then 120, and then $50 for the third best. And we saw like amazing booking rates. I have all the numbers and everything. They're still coming through, but the people were super qualified. And then it's just making it so we don't have a bunch of book calls that aren't qualified and everyone's happy through the process. Yep. 100%. Kind of segmenting in from what you missed out this morning on Annette. This is a this is pretty much like the campaign that we would recommend running via text, not really email, via text, via DM to really get that initial momentum into the free or the paid one, no matter what you're doing. And it's really just tapping those folks that you've been in open conversation with over the past 30, 60, 90 days. And that's why it's important to really follow up and keep Conversion Pro segmented and people going into it because then you can send out these emails and these direct texts and these direct messages, even if you're not communicating with them inside of Conversion Pro. Like there's ways that we can go over together if you want to segment those folks and put them in there so then you can tap into there. So really just, hey, super random, we're doing this event and this is exactly what we're going to do. And it's going to help you with this thing without wasting months creating content and products or creating products and services that don't sell. Do you want me to send you over the details? And then if they don't answer this within 24, 48 hours, generally 24, then we send them this second message right here of, hey, not sure if you saw my message, no worries. If you're not interested or just busy, just didn't want to miss out on the relevant info, let me know if you have any questions. And then that generally gets some type of reaction. Pretty good conversion rate based on what we've tested, right? And then this is a different message. What I was explaining that is this is the one that we've generally run with organic. We have a couple different versions of it, obviously. Like we don't send the same one to the same person like twice, but this is one that we automate on LinkedIn and or through text, hoping you're crushing it. This is like for a perfect person that maybe you had a sales call with. Quick question. Are you the point where you want to grow past without managing your funnel systems, blah, blah, blah. We just open 3 spots, double your revenue, open to check out the short video, and then you can insert your 5-minute webinar, or you could just say, are you open to booking a quick 15-minute demo call? And then that drives them to your calendar automatically without you having to go back and forth and stuff. And you can still run this same 24-hour message behind that. But then we did touch on this briefly. If they say, like, no, I don't want it, there's a couple different ways that you can go about it. Like, thanks for getting back to me. Just curious, would there be a better time to reconnect? Sometimes it'll be like, no, I'm just not interested. And it's like, cool, then you just like take them off the list. Or got it, thank you for getting back to me. By the way, what's your main focus right now inside your business? So you can open up the conversation and then potentially give them like some type of free value drop or content piece that would help and support them. And if they're just like, no, I don't ever want to talk to you again, you're an evil person, just say, got it, thanks for getting back to me. Have a great rest of your week. You know what I mean? Some people see that as passive aggressive. That's just me as a human who I am. But I don't know. I just say, hey, have a great week. Like no harm, no foul, fellow human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just don't say things like "hope you choke on a chicken bone" or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I did drop inside of the chat here. And yeah, that's what I have for us today. We can riff on this more. We could segment into just other ideas on your current campaign. Completely open to whatever y'all want to do. I just thought it would be something we could cover.
So this is something I keep putting off, and it really needs to happen. I need to get these things scheduled like I've been telling people I'm going to do. How far in advance do you think we need to plan it?
Man,
Should I say I'm going to do this next Thursday and have enough time to let people know?
Jeffrey, that was the best question you could possibly ask. And I love that question because that was going to be something I covered and I didn't. What we do as a team is we have what's called the ScalingLEAN War Map. And I got this from Sam Ovens. For those of you who don't know him, he owns consulting.com. He's from like the 2017, 2020 boom of consulting. And we create this generally 60 days in advance. So I don't know if December's in here, it's laid out, but we lay out exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it, right? So ideally, Jeffrey, you want to have this laid out at least 30 days in advance, right? Because it's just going to give you more insight and it's going to give other, if you do have VAs or teammates or helpers, it'll just give them more insight on what's going on, right? Mine's not perfect. As you can see, I didn't fill this in, but we're definitely doing it. AI storytelling. And then this will be the promo that starts here.
War map.
Yeah. I do think I put this somewhere in the training. If not, I definitely have a template because I made Nikki definitely made it. And then so these days are just pretty much right now it's just me kind of building up the pipeline and then we'll release the Kraken on Saturday for the 7 days. And then we'll promote the revenue lab on the back of it. And then we come off generally like 1 or 2 days. And then we're going to do our Black Friday promo, which I don't know if I'm going to do 29. I think I'm going to do 39. So don't hold me to that, but it's going to be like our 28-day fast start. So this will create whoever doesn't buy inside of this in theory will come into this. So we have like multiple launches. Once we validate, we keep building and stacking all the offers that we validate is the way I like to think about it and go about it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much there. And then I can get you the template for, would that be supportive? Would you like this?
Yeah, that would be great.
Cool.
I'm just hoping I can do something sooner.
I would say you would probably, I think for you, Jeffrey, it'd be based around Black Friday. And that offer, remember we laid out roughly where it was going to be like potentially like a break even for you on the front, but then month
Yeah.
two, you'll be in profit and then like create that recurring model. Have you given that any more thought or not really?
Yeah, it's a good idea, and I'm definitely going to do it. I'm just realizing that's only 2 weeks away.
We're here. So yeah, you got a little time though.
Okay.
You got to get on the horse though. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
I would say definitely like I would do it sooner than later. So this here, just you guys have seen it, right? I'm sure in action, right? Where this is more of like just email 7 day thing where it's just like a light call to action. So that's also just figure I'd put that on there. This is like a hard promo, and then the other one's kind of like your light call to action, just like this one was as well. So I think Jeffrey, you brought it up the other day on the call. Like it's pretty much like always selling something if you think about it. Like always, some capacity. Even if it's a free thing, you're still selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're still selling some type of live event or
Reputation.
even like your like videos. Like I just today dropped in a YouTube video, which was like the same live event I did last week in the Facebook group. I just remixed it, cut it up a little bit, and then just put it on YouTube and then created another offer basically or